What if I told you that one single discovery, made by accident, by a man who wasn't even looking for it, triggered the greatest human migration in American history? Within just 12 months, a quiet, forgotten fishing village on the edge of the Pacific Ocean transformed into one of the most chaotic, dangerous, and electrifying cities on the planet. Stay with me, because today we are going back to 1849. We are walking the muddy streets of San Francisco at the exact moment the world came running to it. And thanks to AI reconstruction, you are going to see it like no one alive ever has. Let's go back to where it all started. Not in San Francisco, not in a bank vault, but in a sawmill on the morning of January 24th, 1848.
A carpenter named James Marshall was inspecting a water channel at Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. The sun had barely risen, the air was cold, and then he saw something glinting at the bottom of the water.
He reached in, he picked it up, he bit it. It was soft, it was heavy, it was gold. Marshall rode immediately to his employer, John Sutter, and showed him what he had found. Sutter was not happy. He knew exactly what this meant. He swore his workers to secrecy. He tried to keep it quiet. He failed. Within weeks, whispers were spreading across California. By spring, those whispers had become a roar. Soldiers abandoned their posts. Farmers left their fields. Shopkeepers locked their doors and walked away from everything they had built. On December 5th, 1848, President Polk stood before Congress and announced that the gold discovery in California was real. He held up a golden tea caddy containing over 230 ounces of pure California gold. That was the moment the world lost its mind. They came from everywhere, from New York, from Boston, from London, from Paris, from Shanghai, and Mexico City. They came by sea around Cape Horn. They came across the fever-soaked jungles of Panama. They came overland across 2,000 miles of desert and mountain and endless plain. When those ships arrived in San Francisco Bay, many of them never left. Everyone on board dropped everything and ran for the gold fields. Within months, over 500 abandoned ships sat rotting in San Francisco Bay. Some of them were dragged ashore and converted into hotels, warehouses, and even jails. Imagine you step off your ship in the summer of 1849. You have been at sea for 6 months. You are exhausted. You are sick. You walk into San Francisco. The streets are not paved. They are mud, deep, thick, swallowing mud that has been known to consume horses, wagons, and men. In the wet season, the mud reaches your knees. Merchants have been known to put up signs that read, "This road is not passable, not even jackassable." The buildings are mostly tents and wooden shacks thrown up overnight. Canvas was the primary building material of 1849 San Francisco. A single candle knocked over could, and did, burn entire city blocks to the ground. San Francisco burned down 6 times between 1849 and 1851. 6 times. And each time it was rebuilt almost immediately, because the money flowing through this city was absolutely staggering. Most men who came to San Francisco in 1849 did not strike it rich in the gold fields. Most of them failed. The real fortunes, the truly enormous generational fortunes, were made not by the miners, but by the men who sold things to the miners. Levi Strauss came to San Francisco in 1853 to sell dry goods. He ended up inventing blue jeans. A merchant named Samuel Brannan bought up every pickaxe, shovel, and gold pan in California before the rush began, then rode through the streets of San Francisco waving a bottle of gold dust and shouting that gold had been found. He became the first millionaire of the gold rush, not by mining a single ounce. Eggs sold for $50 each in today's money. A basic wool blanket cost the equivalent of $1,000. A simple wooden shack rented for more per month than a luxury apartment in New York City. The city was a machine for making and losing fortunes, sometimes within the same day.
On a single street in San Francisco in 1849, you could hear Spanish, Mandarin, French, German, Portuguese, and a dozen other languages being spoken simultaneously.
You could eat Chinese food next to a Chilean merchant, next to an Irish miner, next to a freed black man from Georgia who had walked 2,000 miles for the chance at a new life. California was not yet even a state. It would not officially join the United States until September 9, 1850. But San Francisco was already cosmopolitan, already international, already the future. The gold rush did not just change San Francisco, it changed America permanently.
It accelerated the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. It drove California into statehood. It shifted the economic center of gravity of the entire United States toward the West Coast for the first time.
San Francisco in 1849 was not just a city, it was proof that the world could change completely, irreversibly, overnight, if the right spark landed in the right place at the right moment. And somewhere at the bottom of that cold California river, that spark was waiting. It had been waiting for a very long time.